Can you imagine that a woman bound by her circumstances, yet unyielding in spirit, finds herself captivated by a man whose years far exceed her own, and together they navigate the complexities of love and the possibility of new life? It seems contradictory, doesn't it? Yet I am she, and thus unfolds my genuine tale. Once upon a time, there was a woman named Vera Hayes. At the age of 80, I find myself nestled in a tranquil village high among the serene mountains of Tennessee. Yet the tale I'm about to unfold starts in a shadowy chapter of my existence when I was merely 22 years old. In that pivotal year, I was a determined young woman, eagerly poised to embark on the journey into the graduate program in biology that had long captured my dreams. My boyfriend, who had been by my side for 7 years, made a heartfelt promise to always stand with me. We journeyed along the serpentine mountain paths, reveling in the joy of our wonderful news. Yet that fateful car snatched away everything dear. The precise instant when the car slipped from my grasp has faded from my memory. All that lingers in my mind is the echo of metal colliding, the shattering of glass, and the enveloping darkness. As I opened my eyes, I found myself in a hospital room. Once upon a time, a doctor delivered a life-altering message I would never walk again. My lower body feels entirely devoid of sensation. The sensation in that moment transcended mere physical paralysis. My spirit felt as if it had been wrapped in a heavy shroud devoid of warmth. In the beginning, my boyfriend remained by my side, devoted to lifting my spirits and bringing a smile to my face. Yet over time, his visits became fewer and fewer. The gaze he cast upon me had shifted. It was no longer filled with affection, but rather tinged with a sense of sorrow and trepidation. Then one fateful day, he vanished from our midst. A chilling message. I regret to say I cannot continue this way. Frozen in despair, forsaken by the one I loved, my dreams lay in ruins. I tumbled into the depths of desolation. In those times, I found myself at odds with my own form. As I gazed into the mirror, a stranger stared back at me, a living specter confined to a frigid wheelchair. There were moments when the shadows whispered of finality. With a gentle push, I maneuvered my wheelchair to the precipice at the back of my home, gazing into the vast abyss below. With a gentle nudge, the suffering would fade away. Yet in that moment, I found myself unable to proceed. A flicker of hope continued to guide my path forward. Eventually, I found myself nestled in the embrace of the Appalachian Mountains, taking up residence with my aunt. In that secluded spot, I yearned to evade the sympathetic glances, the whispers that followed me. But let me share something with you. No matter the shadows you seek, the solitude within your heart will always trail behind you. Each day unfolded like a familiar tale, where I awoke to the same routine, rising from slumber, settling into my wheelchair, gazing at the trees swaying outside my window, and drifting once more into the shadows of my mind. Once upon a time, my aunt convinced me to visit a quaint little clinic to explore the wonders of acupuncture for my nerve pain. My skepticism ran deep. Yet to ease her worries, I found myself conceding with a heavy heart. It was the moment our paths first crossed. In the heart of the mountains and forests, there lived a man named Silas Caldwell. With his gray hair and calm eyes, he was a professor of herbal medicine, embracing a life of solitude and tranquility. He was a full 34 years my senior. I can vividly recall the moment I first wheeled myself into the clinic, the old chair creaking beneath me. I cast a frosty glance his way and remarked, "Don't bother pretending to be kind. I seek no one's sympathy." Yet he regarded me with a serene expression. "I hold no sympathy for you. My desire is simply to lend a hand." In a single fleeting sentence, my heart danced with uncertainty, a whisper of emotion stirring within. Throughout the subsequent acupuncture sessions, he exhibited remarkable patience, never posing questions that would unsettle me. He spoke softly of the herbs, weaving tales of their tranquil fragrances. On a fateful day, the skies opened up and poured down in torrents. With determination, I set out to navigate my wheelchair towards the clinic. Alas, the wheelchair found itself ensnared in the clutches of the mud. As the droplets cascaded down, they kissed my cheeks with a cool embrace. In a moment of profound despair, tears streamed down my face, and then he emerged a figure of quiet presence, silently grasping an umbrella as he guided the wheelchair to escort me home. In that instant, an unfamiliar sensation washed over me. Not out of pity, nor from a sense of duty, but from a genuine desire to shield and care. Once upon a time, I believed that my heart would remain forever closed to others. Yet I found myself mistaken. As the days unfolded, my anticipation for our encounters grew steadily stronger. The herbal brews, the tender tales, the silent yet soothing glances. A girl who once appeared to be lifeless began to rediscover the spark of life within her. Yet I find myself uncertain. The journey that lies before us, filled with its peaks and valleys, awaits me in him. For not all can embrace a love so unconventional, a young girl bound by her body and a man seasoned by the years. Have you ever cherished someone whom the entire world stood against? Join me as we turn the page to the next chapter, where my beloved faced not just the judgment of the world, but also the shadows of doubt that lingered within my heart. Before I share the tale of the eyes that linger in the shadows, let me first recount the most piercing gaze I have ever encountered, my own reflection in the mirror, a moment when I believed I had lost all worth to continue my journey. When the doctor spoke those words to me, Vera, declaring that I would never walk again, I was certain I had misheard him. Yet the truth shone brighter than all else. My lower body feels as though it exists apart from me. As I lay on the hospital bed, my gaze fell upon my legs. They remained, yet a fragment of their essence lay lifeless. The initial days following the accident were shrouded in darkness, casting a heavy shadow over my existence. My family gathered at the hospital, each taking their turn, to share hollow words of solace. As time passed, the visits from friends became fewer and fewer. The messages that once filled my days with well wishes for a swift recovery began to dwindle, fading into the background like whispers in the wind. It was just him, my partner of 7 years, who remained steadfast by my side. In the early moments, I can vividly recall how he grasped my hand firmly as I stirred from my slumber. His eyes held a depth of sorrow, yet within them flickered a glimmer of something more, filled with fear. In the days that followed, he came to see me each day. He arrived with flowers and cakes, weaving tales of new movies that captured my imagination. Yet each time his gaze lingered on my still legs, a sharp ache pierced my heart. Slowly, his visits became fewer and fewer. The exchanges grew briefer, and then on a fateful day, there remained but a solitary chilling text message. I apologize. Life in this manner is unbearable. I lack the strength. Time and again, I pored over that message, wishing against hope that my eyes had deceived me. Yet he made the choice to depart. The one who vowed to stand by my side through all of life's chapters faltered when I transformed from the vibrant girl I once was. Have you ever experienced that sensation, when your body becomes numb and your heart feels as though it has been torn asunder? In the days that followed, silence enveloped me, and I found myself retreating into solitude untouched by the voices of others. There is no food available. There shall be no drink. There I was perched in silence, my gaze fixed upon the stark white expanse of the hospital ceiling, lost in thought. I found myself engulfed in self-loathing. Loathe this frail vessel. Loathe the merciless twist of destiny that stripped away all I held dear. After a few weeks, the time finally came for me to leave the hospital behind. My family brought me back to the cozy abode of my parents in a quaint little town. My parents endeavored to inspire me to embrace the world of exercise. A new wheelchair was gifted to me. My mother would always remind me that each day calls for strength. The journey of your life is just beginning, with endless possibilities waiting to unfold. Yet silence enveloped me. Within the confines of my mind, a singular question echoed persistently. What more lies beyond? In those days, I existed like a whisper in the corners of the house. As dawn broke, I awoke to find tears streaming down my cheeks. As the evening unfolded, I found myself by the window, lost in thought, gazing into the vastness beyond for what felt like hours. The passions that once filled my heart, music, painting, reading, now feel devoid of significance. I yearned to create a realm that I could step into myself. One fateful afternoon, while my parents were away, I stealthily maneuvered my bike to the precipice of the cliff that loomed behind our home. It was the spot where I would share moments with my former love, gazing at the sunset together. Now it transformed into the realm where I dared to confront my true self. I brought the bike to a halt at the very brink of the cliff. The chilly wind swept through, playfully tousling my hair. I believed that with just a gentle nudge, it would all come together. Gone are the days of suffering, the sorrowful gazes, and the hollow ache within. With my eyes shut tight, I let my hands gently embrace the edge of the wheel. Yet in that very instant, a faint sound echoed through the air. A tiny birdlet sang a soft, feeble tune from a branch close by. As I slowly opened my eyes, the world around me began to take shape. A small nest caught my eye, still glistening from the recent rain. Under the gentle embrace of their mother's wings, the baby birds huddled together, trembling against the chill of the world around them. With a flood of emotions, tears streamed down my face. If those tiny beings were still battling for their existence, then what reason would I have to surrender? With a gentle twist of the handlebars, I spun the bike back in the opposite direction. As I journey back home, my vision dances in a haze. The conclusion was not something I was prepared for, yet I found myself uncertain of how to continue my journey. As I pivoted, the familiar path beckoned me homeward that day. In the depths of my heart, a struggle brewed. I couldn't quite understand why I held on so tightly, yet I was certain that the final chapter was not meant to be written just yet. Yet the desire to cling to life does not necessarily illuminate the path forward. In the days that followed, I continued to exist as I always had, a silent presence within the confines of the modest dwelling. My parents sought to inspire me to embrace the journey of recovery. Yet whenever my gaze fell upon the parallel training frame, a profound emptiness settled within my heart. One morning, my mother unveiled an old photo before me. There I was, captured in a moment of triumph, standing on stage as I accepted the award for excellent student in my final year. At that moment, my eyes shimmered with a captivating light. My lips curved into a radiant smile, as though I had never encountered sorrow. My mother's voice trembled as she recalled my daughter used to be so strong. Once more, that smile shall grace your face. I have faith in it. Yet I simply shook my head. In that photograph, the girl's spirit had departed, lost forever in the tragic accident that stole away all her dreams. On those rainy days, I found myself nestled by the window, lost in thought for what felt like an eternity. As I observed the rain cascading down, a thought crossed my mind. What if I could weep like this endlessly, allowing all my burdens to wash away? Yet the well of my tears had run dry. A weighty void settled heavily upon my chest. Once upon a time, my dear friends, the girls who wandered the streets by my side, began to fade away, their messages dwindling into silence. Not out of indifference, but rather from a place of uncertainty in their words. In that moment, I have found myself at a loss for words, unsure of how to reply. At times, their inquiries carried a whisper of compassion, and that caused me to retreat even further. It was on a fateful evening that the climax unfolded. In the quiet of my room, I found solace beneath the comforting embrace of my blanket. From the narrow opening of the door, I caught the soft murmur of my mother speaking to my father. She has a way of being like this always. I'm concerned that she won't be able to handle it. What shall we embark upon? With a heavy breath, my father let out a sigh. Be gentle with her. Don't apply too much pressure. She requires a moment to gather herself. Upon hearing those words, my heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. Though I wished not to weigh them down, I found myself lost in a maze, unsure of how to escape. Then, on a fateful day, my aunt reached out with a call. "Vera, why not come and spend some time with me?" The air carries a crispness that invigorates the senses. In the realm of nature, countless plants and trees stand as guardians of our well-being. Nothing else holds my interest. All I desire is for you to embrace life once more. Initially, I hesitated to join, but the gaze of my mother, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, compelled me to reconsider. Give it a go. For you, for me. Gazing into my mother's eyes, I found myself unable to say no. Not long after, I found myself journeying to the Appalachian Mountains, a realm where nature sprawls endlessly in lush greenery. As I settled into my wheelchair, I gazed out the car window, taking in the world beyond the glass. The vast, shadowy forest unfolded before me, a realm entirely separate from the sorrowful town I had just departed. In the heart of a lush valley where wild trees danced with the wind, my aunt resided in a quaint wooden house, embracing solitude and the whispers of nature. She was a formidable figure, her eyes sparkling with the innocence and wonder of youth. On that first day of my return, silence enveloped me like a shroud. She gently encouraged me. She brewed a fragrant pot of herbal tea, set it beside me with care, and softly urged, "Give it a taste." Then with a gentle pace, "All shall improve, dear one." As I settled by the window that afternoon, I observed the tiny birds flitting past, their movements graceful and light, while the sunlight danced through the leaves, casting a warm glow all around. A peculiar sensation slinked into my heart. It was not the essence of joy, it was not a feeling of joy, yet it wasn't a tale of despair either. In that moment there was nothing but silence. In the days that followed, my aunt remained quiet. In a serene moment, I find myself crafting warm cups of tea and simple, comforting dishes. At times, she would lead me to the porch, allowing me to sit and inhale the fragrant essence of the grass and trees. In time, I found myself embracing the gentle rhythm of that unhurried existence. Yet within my heart, a vast emptiness lingered. I felt the pulse of life still coursing through me. Yet I found myself in a state of existence that felt anything but alive. One day, my aunt shared a tale saying, "There's a small clinic nestled at the foot of the mountain. They are fortunate to have an exceptional healer in their midst. Have you ever considered giving acupuncture a shot? Perhaps the suffering will diminish." I simply shrugged my shoulders. Hope had slipped through my fingers, leaving me in a place where recovery felt like a distant dream. Yet to ease my aunt's worries, I consented to join her. What a surprising turn of events that was! The journey to that quaint clinic would mark the pivotal moment that would alter the course of my life eternally. That morning is etched in my memory, vivid and unmistakable. The sky wore a gentle shade of gray, soft and muted. The rain had only just ceased, leaving behind a coolness in the air, as if autumn had decided to grace us with its presence a bit earlier this year. With a gentle touch, my aunt helped me into my coat, her voice warm as she said, "Let's go to the clinic. There is a meeting on my calendar. Feel free to give it a go." My hopes for those therapies had faded away. Yet to bring her joy, I acquiesced with a nod. At the base of the towering mountain, a quaint clinic found its home, a hidden gem waiting to share its tales. In front of a humble wooden house, a few bunches of dried herbs hung by the door, their light fragrance dancing gently in the air. My aunt gently guided my wheelchair onto the porch, the sun casting a warm glow around us. With a soft smile, she tenderly placed her hand on my shoulder before turning the knob to open the door. "In this place, the doctor possesses a remarkable essence. You'll find him quite likable." I remained silent. I pondered what is there to appreciate in yet another soul gazing at me with a sense of pity. As the door creaked open there, he was Silas Caldwell, with his neat silver hair and eyes that mirrored the serene depths of a tranquil lake. His expression was devoid of compassion, lacking the intrigue that often flickered in the eyes of others when they encountered me in a wheelchair. A serene stillness enveloped the scene. With a gentle nod, he welcomed her, saying, "Hello, Vera, come in." His voice resonated with a rich politeness, treating me as if I were just another patient in the sea of faces. My aunt welcomed him warmly and then stepped away, leaving me behind. For the first time in months, I sensed a shift, a moment where I was seen beyond my limitations. In a quaint little corner, the clinic stood small yet impeccably tidy, a haven of care and comfort. Rows of time-worn tomes, jars of fragrant herbs artfully displayed. Upon the table sat a teapot, its steam curling upwards like whispers of a forgotten tale. With a deliberate gesture, Mr. Silas directed attention to the scene unfolding before them. "Shall we begin, if that suits you? Imagine a gentle touch that weaves through your body, enhancing the flow of life within you, easing the burdens of discomfort in your upper body." I offered a subtle nod. As he readied the needle, I couldn't help but exclaim, "Don't bother trying to be nice to me. Your sympathy is unnecessary." He took a brief moment to gather his thoughts. His gaze met mine with a serene intensity. "Ms. Hayes, I hold no sympathy for you. I practice medicine. My role is to guide individuals on their journey to wellness, and that is my sole purpose." The simplicity of that answer caught me off guard just a touch. In that moment, words eluded me. On that day of the acupuncture session, he chose not to inquire about the accident. He never inquired about the tapestry of my existence. He softly encouraged me to take a breath now and then, weaving in tales about the herbs that adorned the shelf. That tranquility enveloped me, bringing a sense of peace within. The acupuncture session drew to a close. Before my aunt arrived to take me away, he graciously poured me a steaming cup of herbal tea. The fragrance wafted softly through the air. The flavor danced softly upon the tip of my tongue. Ah, the soothing embrace of eucalyptus and honey tea, a gentle balm for the restless spirit. Give it a go. I savored a sip. In that serene moment, an unexpected warmth enveloped my heart. As we journeyed home, my aunt turned to me and inquired, "How do you feel?" I paused, letting the weight of my words hang in the air, then softly murmured, "He's not like the rest." My aunt just smiled, her eyes sparkling with playful secrets. In the days that followed, I found myself drawn to the clinic, more often not just for the soothing relief that acupuncture brought to my neck and shoulders, but also for the sense of comfort that enveloped me within those walls. Mr. Silas was a paragon of propriety, always upholding the finest of manners. He refrained from inquiring into personal matters. He left untouched the well of compassion that I was too weary to confront. Instead, he wove tales of the herbs that flourished around the mountains. Wild chrysanthemums soothe the spirit, a trachylodes root invigorates the flow of life, and perilla leaves offer comfort against the chill of colds. Slowly, I found myself inquiring once more, "How is it that you possess such knowledge about herbs?" He offered a subtle smile. "Once I shared the wisdom of herbal medicine, but now my heart finds solace among the plants, preferring their company over that of people." I chose to remain silent, letting the moment linger without further inquiry. Yet within my heart, a spark of curiosity began to glow. One afternoon, after completing my acupuncture session, I settled in to savor my tea a little longer. As the world outside began to weep softly, a gentle drizzle fell from the heavens. "Mr. Silas gazed out the window, his voice a gentle murmur. "You see, there are rains that echo the ebb and flow of human moods. Do you believe you can drench the entire world? Yet as they descend, they transform into a soft, ethereal mist." As I gazed upon him, a smile graced my lips, a rare moment that had been long awaited. In that moment, he mirrored my smile, his eyes sparkling with a gentle warmth. Perhaps, from that day on, I discovered a newfound anticipation for my visits to the clinic. It wasn't just the acupuncture that drew me in. It was the serene moments spent sipping tea, captivated by his tales in that tranquil setting. In the weeks that followed, I found myself returning to the quaint little clinic time and again. Initially, it was simply about maintaining the acupuncture sessions. Yet over time, I came to understand that those visits became the highlight of my days and something I eagerly anticipated above all else. In the stillness of the moment, the soft aroma of herbs wafted through the air. Mr. Silas's inviting and engaging narrative tone. It was a realm, a part of sanctuary where I was not defined by my disability, a place where I could truly be myself. On a serene afternoon following the acupuncture session, he graciously poured me tea just as he always did. Yet on this occasion, I found myself lingering, not in a hurry to depart. As I gazed through the glass door, a gentle drizzle danced upon the world outside. I couldn't help but ask what led you to choose this solitary life in the mountains and forests, hidden away from everyone. With a gentle motion, he set the teapot down as if placing a cherished artifact upon a sacred pedestal. At times, individuals seek refuge from the clamor that surrounds them, to hear their own voices. In a previous chapter of my life, I held the esteemed title of university professor. Yet events unfolded, guided me toward an alternate path in life. A profound sorrow resonated within that sentence. Yet he chose to share no further details. I chose not to inquire. On that fateful day, as my aunt journeyed to collect me, her car unexpectedly faltered on the road. I planned to hold off until she had it sorted out before I came to get her. Yet with a soft voice, Mr. Silas remarked, "The skies are soon to unleash their fury. Allow me to guide you back to the place you belong." In that moment of uncertainty, I paused. Yet he retrieved a heavy coat and draped it gently over my shoulders, wheeled my chair out onto the porch, embracing the world beyond the threshold. Out of nowhere, the skies opened up, unleashing a torrential downpour. The umbrella he carried was insufficient to shield us both from the rain. Yet he stood resolutely outside, angling the umbrella just so to shield me from the rain. I gazed upward. After months of dreary weather, the cold rain finally found me in a moment where it couldn't dampen my spirit any further. In that moment, a gentle warmth enveloped me from within. As he pulled up to my aunt's porch, the car came to a gentle halt. As I gazed up at him, words spilled forth from my lips, a heartfelt thank you escaping in an unguarded moment. This is more than a fleeting moment. He smiled, his eyes warm and inviting. At times, individuals find themselves in need of a protective shield from the elements. At times, all one truly seeks is the comforting presence of another, a steadfast companion by their side. Those words resonated in the most profound depths of my heart. On that fateful night, slumber eluded me. The gaze in his eyes lingered in my mind long after he spoke those words. In the manner he grasped the umbrella for me, there was no trace of pity, no hint of awkwardness. A man who sees me for all that I am, embracing my humanity fully. It had been ages since those feelings had washed over me. To embrace the essence of humanity. To have someone who genuinely cherishes me. In the days that followed, I took it upon myself to be more engaged during my visits to the clinic. I inquired further about the fascinating world of herbs. He shared with me tales of his journeys and the many years he spent imparting knowledge. It came to my attention that he had once been wrongfully implicated in a scandal within the academic realm. In the face of his unblemished spirit, he made the decision to depart from that setting, to journey to this place and dwell amidst the majestic mountains and enchanting forests. One day, with a heart full of courage, I inquired, "Do you ever feel the weight of loneliness, residing solo in this space?" With a gentle curve of his lips, he beamed. Loneliness is a moment when the heart searches for something to cherish, yet finds nothing in its grasp. In this cherished spot, I find deep affection for the trees, a profound appreciation for the silence, and a fascination with the tales woven by those who visit. In that moment, his eyes sparkled with an unmistakable clarity. In an instant, a yearning stirred within me to immerse myself in those tales. the journeys to the clinic? When did they cease seeking treatment? In those instances, my heart found its truest peace. It was in the quiet moments that I started to observe the tiniest details. He poured the tea with a gentle grace, cradling the cup just so, making it effortless for me to grasp. Text. With a tender touch, he repositioned the pillow behind my back, a small act of care during my long sit. His eyes, as I recounted my darkest days, held no pity, only a genuine, attentive presence. On a gentle afternoon, the sun cast a soft, inviting glow across the landscape. Following the acupuncture session, he inquired, "Would you like to take a stroll around the garden today? There are numerous plants in my collection that remain a mystery to you." After a moment of uncertainty, I finally gave a nod of agreement. With a gentle nudge, he guided my cart toward the backyard where adventures awaited. In that moment, the rows of white chrysanthemums shone with a vivid brilliance. The trellises, adorned with vibrant green mint leaves, stood proudly in the garden. The scent enveloped the air, softly reminiscent of a mother's embrace. He settled in, carefully selecting each branch and leaf, weaving a narrative about the uses of every type. In that fleeting moment, as I gazed upon him, a thought struck me. If there exists a person who inspires me to forge ahead, it might just be this man. Yet I found myself surprised as that tranquility gradually blossomed into something far more profound, a sensation I believed I would never have the courage to experience once more. It's unclear when the transformation of my heart first took root. Each time I step out of that quaint clinic, a sense of lightness washes over me. Each morning as I rise, a sense of purpose fills the day ahead. Ah, how I eagerly anticipate those soft, sunlit afternoons, the delicate patter of drizzling rain, the soothing warmth of herbal teas, and the enchanting tales spun by that remarkable man, Silas Caldwell. The age difference between us is unmistakable. He is 34 years my senior, old enough to be my father, and then some. Yet in his presence, I have always felt a remarkable sense of continuity. He gazes upon me not as a young girl in need of guidance. He sees me not as someone deserving of pity, but as a person with a story of my own. He gazes at me as if we share an unspoken bond. There are afternoons when I linger by the chrysanthemum garden, lost in thought. He listened intently as I recounted the scattered fragments of memories from the time before the accident. Once upon a time, there were dreams that lay shattered, their fragments glimmering like stars in the night sky, each telling a tale of hope and longing. Once upon a time, there was an ex-boyfriend who chose to walk away from my life. In the moments when I teetered on the edge of surrender, not a single word of compassion escaped his lips. He tenderly grasped my wrist, his gaze profound. Ah, you remain in this moment, far more powerful than you realize. On a crisp, late autumn afternoon, a sudden realization dawned upon me. My heart is filled with affection for that man, not the fervent romance of youth, not the kind of infatuation that blinds you, yet a love, soft and serene, much like the gaze he carries, a love that reminded me of my humanity, everlasting worth, forever deserving of affection. Not a word was spoken by either of us to begin with, yet each gesture and every glance spoke volumes. As his hand brushed against mine near the cup of tea, I found myself lingering, not retreating, as I had in the past. As he angled his umbrella to shield me from the falling rain, I found solace in leaning against that sturdy shoulder. Those moments spoke for themselves. My heart knew, and I am certain his heart did as well. I began to weave tales about him for my aunt. One evening, my aunt rested her hand on my shoulder and softly inquired, "Vera, are you aware of the journey that lies ahead?" In that moment, I found myself enveloped in a profound stillness. With a soft exhale, she let her breath escape. Ah, the heart's whisper, do you hold affection for him? Perhaps I gave a subtle nod. Unbeknownst to me, tears began to cascade down my cheeks. I do not place any restrictions upon you, yet I am aware. The realm beyond is not one to embrace this without hesitation, particularly my parents. It became clear to me that my aunt held the truth, yet I was aware. To release my grip now would mean losing my essence once more. A week later, I gathered my courage and chose to share my truth with my parents. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I picked up the phone to reach out to home. My hands trembled as I grasped the phone tightly. Mom picked up the phone, her voice wrapped in a cozy embrace. "My dear daughter, how have you fared in these times? My aunt shared the news that you're on the mend and feeling much better. Joy fills my heart. I felt a lump in my throat. Mother, I have a tale to share with you. What troubles your heart? Once upon a time, I crossed paths with someone special. In my heart, I believe, I love him." On the other end of the line, my mother's joyful voice danced through the air, filling my heart with warmth. "Is that so? Who might it be? Joy fills my heart. I feared that you might find it difficult to share your thoughts again." With a steadying inhale, I gathered my thoughts. Once upon a time, there was a man named Silas Caldwell. He serves as a healer in this place. Yet, he holds 34 more years of life experience than you do. In the stillness, a hush envelops the world. A profound stillness enveloped the air, to the extent that I believed silence had enveloped me completely. Then my mother's voice echoed, quivering with emotion. "What is this? Did you utter those words?" "Mother, I understand it's a challenge to come to terms with, yet my heart is bound to him." In his presence, a profound sense of tranquility enveloped me unlike anything I had ever experienced before. He showed no pity towards me. He instilled in me a sense of worth, that I had a story worth telling. Mother's eyes glistened with emotion. "Vera, have you lost your mind? You've gathered quite a few years, haven't you? And you—" "Mom, I assure you I'm not losing my mind. In this moment, my clarity has reached new heights." On the other end of the line, I caught the tremor in my mother's voice, thick with emotion. "Vera, are you grasping the essence of your words? A figure such as that, 34 years your senior, and you my friend." I pressed my lips together, striving to maintain my composure. "Mother, the passage of time holds no significance. My heart is drawn to him. In his presence, I discover a sense of wholeness that fills my being. Not a soul feels sorrow for my plight. I'm not perceived as a weight upon anyone's shoulders." My mother was overcome with emotion, tears streaming down her face. "Vera, you are casting a shadow over our family. Who could possibly believe that your heart truly belongs to a man of 70? Who could fathom that my daughter would willingly embrace such a life? What will they whisper in the shadows? Relatives of friends. They will chuckle at our clan." I gripped the phone with determination. Emotion surged, and tears began to flow freely. Yet my voice quivered with uncertainty. "Mother, the opinions of others hold no weight for me. I have a deep understanding. In the depths of despair, I found myself yearning for an end, and he bestowed upon me a purpose to embrace life. Release is not an option for me." On the other end of the line, my mother wept softly, her sorrow echoing through the silence. And with that, she ended the call. A prolonged series of beeps echoes through the air. In the quiet confines of the small room, I remained utterly still. My hand remained firmly clasped around the phone. My heart throbbed with a pain that felt as though it were being tightly gripped. Yet deep down, I was aware. To surrender at this moment would mean losing my essence once more. As the days unfolded, the tale began to weave its way through the hearts and minds of many. My mother reached out to my aunt. As time went on, the news began to spread among the relatives. One afternoon, my aunt entered the room, setting the phone aside. Her eyes filled with concern. "My little one." Whispers are beginning to circulate among the crowd. There are individuals on social media who are aware of it and weave tales of misfortune. A subtle smile graced my lips. I am aware of Auntie, yet I find myself indifferent now. Yet I failed to grasp the true strength of whispers that travel from ear to ear. My old friend began to send messages, their curiosity bubbling over with questions. Vera, to tell me, is your heart truly captivated by a man of 70 summers? What makes you believe he is exploiting you? Some even quipped, is it out of pity that you mistake it for love? In that moment, I found myself enveloped in a profound stillness. Silence enveloped the room as no replies were offered to anyone. In a world filled with countless destinations, there existed but a singular realm. I continued to visit regularly. In a quaint little clinic tucked away from the bustling streets, a world of healing unfolds. On a serene afternoon following my acupuncture session, I found myself sitting in quiet contemplation for an extended period. The rain fell in relentless sheets, drenching everything in its path. I shared with him the tales of what others had spoken. Let me share tales of my mother and my friends. In the depths of my heart, I carry the weight of my mother's words echoing like a haunting refrain, you are bringing shame to the family. He remained quiet, a stillness enveloping him. She poured me a steaming cup of tea, the aroma swirling around us like a warm embrace. It was delicately set before me. Then he spoke, his voice imbued with warmth. Vera, if you wish to part ways, I will understand. I wish to shield you from any pain that may arise from my actions. My heart seemed to constrict as if caught in an unseen grip. I lifted my gaze, locking eyes with him. Can you believe it? All this time, I found myself not wanting to continue on this journey of life. Yet you guided me on the journey to rediscover who I truly am. Should I release my grip now, I risk losing my very essence once more. I shall remain right here. For the first time, I addressed him as you, with a warmth reserved for a cherished one. He paused, lost in thought. Then his gaze became tender and profound. And so our journey shall unfold together, regardless of the journey that lies before us. Rest assured, I will always be by your side. In that instant, a profound realization washed over me, affirming that my decision was indeed the correct one. Though the world beyond may have cast its gaze away, though not even my mother could embrace it, I shall not retreat either, yet I found myself unprepared. As I journeyed further down that road, destiny bestowed upon us a remarkable gift, a treasure I believed I would never hold in my hands once more. We chose to embrace the beauty of simplicity for our wedding. No grand entrance, no elaborate wedding gown. It was a quaint gathering, just my aunt, a handful of Silas's dear friends, and a few cherished companions from days gone by. Not a single member of my family showed up. Mother's disapproval lingered in the air. Father remained quiet as well. Yet I hold no resentment towards them, I understand. Understanding unfolds gradually for them. As for me, I eagerly anticipate the endless journey that life has to offer. On that afternoon, I donned a modest white dress lovingly crafted by my aunt's own hands. My hair flowed freely. Adorned with delicate white daisies and slender silk ribbons, the wheelchair became a canvas of beauty and grace. As Silas caught sight of me gliding down the quaint wedding aisle nestled in the woods, a spark ignited in his eyes reminiscent of that very first day I stepped into his clinic. In that moment, a radiant glow enveloped me, and I discovered a beauty within that I had never known before. It wasn't the dress that caught my attention, but rather the way that man looked at me. In a setting where the air was rich with the fragrance of herbs, the wedding unfolded. As the soft breeze whispered through the trees, the forest came alive with its secrets and stories waiting to be told. The golden sunlight cascaded gently upon the vibrant green leaves, illuminating them with a warm embrace. As Mr. Silas leaned down and softly pressed his lips to my forehead, after we exchanged our vows, a rush of emotion surged through me, making my heart race like that of a young girl in love. I was aware I had embarked on an entirely fresh adventure. Once upon a time, there were two souls who faced the world with courage and love. Despite their challenges, their hearts intertwined in a bond that was unbreakable, embracing each other with a depth of affection that knew no bounds. As the last echoes of laughter faded from the wedding celebration, Mr. Silas gently guided my wheelchair toward the quaint cabin that would soon become our home. In the depths of darkness, shadows danced and whispered secrets untold. In the vast expanse of the night, stars twinkled like distant dreams, while the gentle chorus of insects serenaded the air, weaving a melody of romance and mystery. Within the cozy cabin, a grand bed lay adorned with pristine white sheets, inviting and serene. Wild daisies danced gently by the window, their petals whispering tales of the sun and the breeze. The night of my wedding unfolded. Yet as the door clicked shut, an unexpected wave of dread washed over me. Once there was a woman whose journey took an unexpected turn, leaving her in a state of stillness. A numbness has settled in my lower body, leaving me disconnected from that part of myself. My body moves in ways that feel foreign, as if it has a mind of its own, separate from the rhythm of the world around me. I wonder if I have what it takes to embrace the role of a true partner. As I gazed at him, my fingers clutched the edge of the wheelchair, a silent tension hanging in the air. My heart raced with anticipation. Silas, I find myself at a crossroads, uncertain if I possess the strength to meet your expectations without faltering. He approached me with a soft grace, knelt before me, and tenderly rested his hands upon my shoulders. Vera, there's no need for you to demonstrate anything. My heart is filled with affection for you. Embrace every ounce of love you can offer and cherish the love that remains beyond your reach. His voice wrapped around me a comforting embrace that touched the very essence of my being. With careful hands, he gently lifted me from the confines of the wheelchair. He laid me upon the bed, tenderly positioning the pillow to cradle my back. I quivered. Alas, I find myself in a state where the sensations of my lower body have vanished into the ether. I'm uncertain about whether my actions are correct, or if they'll bring you joy. With a soft smile, he caressed my hair tenderly. One need not experience emotions to know the warmth of love, and I require nothing from you. Allow me to embrace you with all my heart. And that concludes our tale. With a sudden rush of emotion, tears streamed down my face. The dam of emotions I had carefully constructed throughout the day finally gave way, and the tears flowed freely. He gently brushed my tears aside, placing soft kisses on my forehead and cheeks. Take your time. Abandon all desire for excess. Only kisses brimming with admiration, overflowing with affection. Yet in that moment, when his hands softly brushed against mine, an entirely new adventure unfolded. A voyage into the unknown. Two hearts guiding one another beyond the boundaries I once believed were insurmountable. As Mr. Silas softly placed me upon the bed, I found myself still quaking with unease. Not due to the chill in the air, but rather the grip of fear, the haunting dread of a woman stripped of sensation in her lower body. A haunting worry lingered within her, a shadow of doubt that she might fail to weave joy into the life of the one she cherished. I grasped his hand firmly, emotions rising like a tide within me. Silas, I find myself at a loss, unsure of the path ahead. I wonder if I've let you down. He gazed into my eyes, his fingers softly brushing against my cheek. Vera, lend me your ear. This evening is not meant for you to take any action. This evening is dedicated to cherishing you. Allow me to embrace you with all my heart, just as you are. That will do. Emotion overwhelmed me and I found myself in tears. The barriers of self-doubt I had constructed over the past months started to show signs of weakness. He pressed his lips gently against my forehead, then bit by bit tenderly brushed my cheeks, my lips with soft kisses. Take your time. There's no rush or urgency here. Soft, tender kisses akin to delicate whispers in the night. Here I stand. Rest assured you are in a place of safety. With a gentle touch, he began to unbutton my wedding dress. Every tender caress filled me not with fear, but with a profound sense of love that embraced this body. A form I once despised, once wished to discard. At long last it felt the gentle caress of affection. As his hand rested gently on my hip, I leaned in closer and murmured, "I don't feel it." I'm uncertain about my ability to reply. He lifted his gaze, soft and kind. "There's no need for your body to experience it. I wish for you to embrace my essence with your heart." He gradually reached out to me moment by moment. A numbness enveloped my lower body, leaving me disconnected from the world below my waist. Yet I sensed the softness in every caress. It felt like he was whispering to my very essence, reminding me of my beauty. "Your beauty remains timeless. In my heart, you remain the one I cherish deeply." Just as he was on the brink of crossing that threshold, he hesitated, his gaze locking onto mine with an intensity that spoke volumes. "Do you truly believe I can hold on? Perhaps this evening isn't the right moment. Embrace the warmth of security." In that fleeting moment, my heart swelled with a love I had never known before. With a gentle embrace, I encircled his neck, softly murmuring, "I trust you. Tonight is destined to be ours. Though it eludes my senses, let me share with you the depths of my affection for you." He gradually made his way inside me. There was no sensation of pain within me. I experienced a different kind of sensation than what is often described by others. In that moment, I could sense his quickened breaths, the warmth of his hand gripping mine, and the depth of affection in his gaze as he turned to me. The love danced through every one of those movements. In that instant, I sensed a transformation within me, as if the weight of my imperfections had lifted away. Once I found myself in the essence of womanhood, a soul cherished, absolutely. As he completed his tale, he enveloped me in a warm embrace, resting his face against my shoulder. Our tears flowed freely, not due to suffering, yet it is all due to joy. For a barrier that appeared insurmountable, we had triumphed side by side. He leaned closer, his voice a soft murmur. "You are the most wonderful woman I have ever loved." This evening marks a moment that will forever be etched in my memory. With tears streaming down my face, I wrap my arms around him tightly. "My heart is filled with affection for you. Embrace all the possibilities that lie before us, and all that which lies beyond our obligations." As the stars twinkled above, I surrendered to slumber, cradled in the warmth of that man's embrace. After all those years, a moment like this had finally arrived. In the embrace of the night, I drifted into a tranquil slumber. Following that enchanting wedding night, I experienced the most serene days of my existence. After countless years of struggle, I found a newfound acceptance for my body. In a moment of courage, I finally faced my reflection and allowed a smile to grace my lips. Not due to my improved health, not because I had returned to the ordinary. Yet in that moment of realization, I understood the depth of my being cherished wholly, and I hold deep affection for someone in their entirety. Our days unfolded gently within the cozy embrace of the small cabin. Each dawn, Silas brewed herbal tea and shared tales from the pages of books with me. As the afternoon sun bathed the garden in warmth, he gently maneuvered my wheelchair, weaving tales of the fresh grass sprouting vibrantly after the rain's embrace. Those days wrapped in the simplicity of life were the happiest I had ever known. Then one fateful day, I came to the profound realization that there was something uniquely different about my very being. At first, there was a subtle wave of unease that washed over me each morning. Then came the fatigue that lingered far longer than expected. I believed it was merely a cold that had come to visit me. Silas prepared delicate meals for me, complementing them with ginger tea to soothe my nausea. Yet a week went by then. 2 weeks slipped away. Yet the signs showed no signs of easing. One morning, as the weight of exhaustion held me captive beneath the covers, Silas felt a pang of concern. Vera, perhaps a visit to the clinic would be wise. Unease settles within me. I gave a subtle shake of my head. It's likely nothing more than a common cold, sir. All is well. Yet he remained steadfast in his resolve. Not this time. I seek certainty. Come, let us embark on this journey together. Our journey led us to the clinic nestled in the town at the base of the mountain. The healer was a woman in her middle years, her eyes radiating warmth and kindness. Upon hearing my symptoms, a faint smile graced her lips. It seems there may be a chance that you are with child. A wave of disbelief washed over me. Absolutely not. I find myself unable to move. Her gaze met mine with a softness that spoke volumes. Vera, even in the face of paralysis, the possibility of pregnancy remains if your uterus and ovaries continue to function as they should. Yet here I am. I find myself unable to sense my lower body. How could that possibly be? With a tender grip, she enveloped my hand in hers. At times, our body possesses an innate ability to perform wonders. When our spirit has found its trust in existence, I remained perfectly still. Gazing at Silas, my eyes brimmed with a swirl of confusion and disbelief. He paused, enveloped in a moment of quiet contemplation. In that moment, he grasped my hand tightly, his eyes shimmering with unshed tears. You caught that, didn't you? A wondrous miracle has indeed graced our presence. As the doctor conducted the ultrasound, my gaze was drawn to the screen. A tiny speck, yet a genuine existence. Our little one. It's hard to say just how long the tears flowed in the aftermath of that moment. Silas nestled beside me, his grip warm around my hand, as he softly murmured, "You're alive, Vera. And now we embark on a new chapter of our journey together." Yet that happiness was fleeting. Just a few days later, as my aunt recounted the tale to a friend, the news began to weave its way through the community with remarkable speed. A young girl confined to her wheelchair found herself in a most unexpected situation as she became pregnant by a man of 70 years. A ripple of excitement swept through the entire town. Once my old friends would reach out with a flurry of questions, but now their messages have shifted, no longer filled with the curiosity they once had, yet with a blend of compassion and skepticism. Do you truly believe that is his offspring? Did someone exploit your trust? What are the possibilities for a person with paralysis to conceive a child? This is quite peculiar. For the first time since the wedding, my mother reached out again. Her voice quivered, a blend of fear and urgency replacing the anger that once filled it. Vera, I have come to know the tale. Share with me the honest tale. Did someone compel you? Are you confused about something? What are the ways one might conceive a child? Vera, reveal your truth to me. What are the ways for someone with paralysis to conceive a child? Are you aware of the path you're taking? My mother's voice quivered softly through the receiver. I took a deep breath. Mother, you speak the truth. This child belongs to you and Silas. It's a wondrous twist of fate we never had the courage to imagine. My mother raised her voice in a near shout. Vera, you are casting a shadow upon our family's name. Who would ever accept such a tale, my companions, my kin? They shall find amusement in my plight. They will wonder, how am I to weave such a tale? I gripped the phone with fierce determination. Emotions surged forth, yet in this moment I chose not to let myself crumble. Mother, I've reached a point where the opinions of others no longer hold sway over me. What I can tell you is that this child embodies the essence of genuine love. My child will remain with me regardless of the sacrifices I must make. My mother paused, enveloped in a moment of silence. Then a strangled cry pierced the air. Oh, my dear child, I implore you, steer clear of choices that could lead to regret. Countless men wander through the world. What led you to select someone like that in the bloom of youth? A new beginning awaits you. Yet, should you choose to embrace this little one, know that the path behind you will vanish. Those words pierced through me, leaving wounds that throbbed with every beat of my heart. Yet in that very instant, the door creaked open gently. Silas entered, his gaze filled with concern as it met mine. The phone remained on its glow, illuminating the room. I allowed him to absorb it all. I wanted to assure him that I was an open book. Mother's tears continued to flow. Vera, I implore you, kindly lend me your ear if only for this moment. Leave this little one behind. Then I shall guide you home once more. All of this will fade away into the shadows of memory. Very well. I brushed away my tears and inhaled deeply. Absolutely not, Mom. I cannot bring an end to a small existence, especially when it embodies the essence of a love I never imagined I would experience. I apologize, Mother, yet I shall hold on to this little one. Though you may turn away from me, my resolve will remain unshaken. On the other end of the line, Mom wept softly before ending the call. I set the phone aside. My hands trembled with lingering uncertainty. Emotions cascaded like a gentle stream. Silas approached and enveloped me in a warm embrace. Silence enveloped him, his lips sealed tight. He embraced me tightly, allowing me to sense everything vividly. No matter how many turned away, he would remain steadfastly by my side. In the days that followed, whispers of the news danced through the vast expanse of the internet. A young girl confined to her wheelchair found herself in a most unexpected situation, becoming pregnant by a man in his 70s. An elderly physician captivated the heart of a young woman facing challenges. A tale of grime transformed into a narrative of affection. Every day the biting words flowed into me like an unrelenting tide. My old friends lingered in quietude. The family ceased their communication with me. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I found myself seated, cradling my head, each breath coming in heavy waves. The relentless barrage of harsh words from the digital realm wore me down. Silas, I find myself at a loss, unsure if I can endure this burden. Perhaps Mother knows best. Perhaps it's time to reconsider my path. Silas raised my chin, his gaze profound and captivating. Gaze upon me, Vera. That little one is our wondrous blessing. The journey you once believed was beyond your reach. You've journeyed to this point. Guard your most cherished possession against those who lack understanding. In a moment of vulnerability, I found myself weeping in his embrace. I was aware. Release was not an option for me. There was no way to retreat, not for my own sake. Yet there is a little one nestled within me. For the little one. Our preparations for the journey to safeguard the baby commenced with great anticipation. Silas sought out the finest healers in the land, delved deeply into the myriad of risks faced by someone like me, navigating the journey of pregnancy while paralyzed. The doctor spoke with a stark seriousness, warning, "It will be very dangerous. Yet should your resolve be unwavering, we shall stand by your side." I gave a knowing nod. I shall embrace the journey of nurturing this little one, regardless of the price to pay. Yet I find myself uncertain. The path that lies before us holds a grander trial. As the shadows of Silas's past emerge, a tale unfolds that captivates the heart and stirs the imagination. And this time it won't just be me. The one I cherish will also find themselves swept away in a fresh tempest. Perhaps had I foreseen the magnitude of the storm, I might have found a way to maintain my composure. Yet alas, that was not the case. There are moments in life that catch us off guard, where the one we hold dear can transform into a stranger before our very eyes. On that day, everything unfolded just like any other day. As dawn broke, gentle rays of sunlight poured through the window, embracing me in their warmth. My belly was unmistakably protruding. With each gentle nudge from the little one, I softly breathed sweet nothings of affection. Silas set the stage for the morning meal. He softly hummed a melody from days gone by, one that was unfamiliar to my ears. It felt as though the outside world had faded away, leaving only this moment in its wake. Then the sound of my phone broke the silence. A long-lost companion reached out with a brief message. "Vera, let me share a tale with you. Have you come across this intriguing news?" A connection was woven in. With a sense of wonder, I lifted the lid. A crimson headline that captures the eye. A once respected professor, now shunned for deceit in academia, weaves a dark tale as he entices a young woman bound by her circumstances into a life-altering situation. A wave of disbelief washed over me. The phone screen transformed into a shadowy void, drawing the very air from my lungs. Every word cut deep, a chilling blade piercing through the trust I had carefully woven. Once upon a time, Silas Caldwell found himself in a predicament that led to his resignation from a renowned university, a consequence of his entanglement in the shadows of research fraud many years prior. In the absence of proof to vindicate his reputation, he vanished from the realm of academia. Once more, the spotlight has turned to him as a young girl paralyzed and full of dreams unexpectedly finds herself expecting his child. I gripped the phone tightly. My knuckles clenched tightly, turning a ghostly white. Alas, it cannot be. The man who once raised me from the shadows of existence, the man who once gazed upon me as the epitome of womanhood, the figure who once leaned close, sharing secrets meant only for me. There's no need for your body to experience it. Embrace it with your soul. Once upon a time, there was a past filled with tales untold. In that fleeting moment, I found myself loathing the very essence of my heart. It yearned for faith, yet my thoughts quivered with uncertainty. That afternoon, when Silas returned, I endeavored to mask the tumult of emotions churning within me, striving to maintain a calm facade. Yet with just a single glance, he sensed that something was amiss. "Vera, what troubles your heart?" I remained silent. I simply passed him the phone. My voice caught in my throat. Once upon a time, there was a unique individual, a beacon of light, in a world filled with stories waiting to be told. What is the reason behind this? He immersed himself in every line. His eyes, once calm, grew heavy with unspoken tales. A heavy silence hung in the air, thick and stifling. In the hushed confines of the small room, the relentless ticking of the wall clock resonated, weaving a tapestry of time that filled the air. He set the phone aside and turned his gaze toward me. His voice was rough and raspy. "I had a tale to share with you, yet a shadow of fear loomed over me, worried that your gaze would shift, that the warmth would fade, and I would become just a shadow in your eyes." I murmured, my eyes brimming with tears. Could it all be true? Absolutely not. My integrity in presenting the research results has always remained intact. In a twist of fate, I uncovered the deception, yet my words fell on deaf ears. I made the decision to walk away, for I sought to avoid being overwhelmed by it all. I found myself there, akin to a delicate leaf dancing in the breeze. Half of my heart cried out, "Believe in him." The other half murmured, "Do not turn a deaf ear." That feeling was unbearable. Fear gripped my very being like never before. In the days that followed, the digital realm erupted with fervor. The headlines flowed endlessly. The harsh words echoed everywhere, swirling like a tempest in the air. An elderly man enchants a young girl with disabilities, only to unveil a shocking history. "Is that child truly his?" my mother inquired. Her voice carried a chilling edge, sharp and unyielding. "Vera, for how long do you intend to hold on to that object? Do you believe you have the strength to bring that child into the world? The entire realm shall jeer at you until your spirit wanes." My strength was nearly depleted. Each day, every spiteful word felt like a claw, rending the delicate faith I struggled to maintain. On a particular night, Silas was nowhere to be found within the walls of the house. I wandered through the cabin alone in my thoughts. At last, I discovered him perched silently on the porch steps, bathed in the chill of the moonlight. A bottle of wine nearly drained sat beside me. His shoulders had lost the strength that once shielded me. They quivered ever so slightly as if clinging desperately to the fading echoes of a shattered trust. I turned onto my side, gasping for breath. "Oh, Silas, let's not go down that path." He spun on his heel. His eyes glowed with a fiery hue. His voice trembled with emotion. "I apologize, Vera. I pulled you into the mire of my history. In this moment, I find myself unworthy of you, our precious child. Perhaps it's time for me to go, allowing you to find your tranquility." "Absolutely not. That's out of the question." I grasped his hand tightly. Each word I uttered resonated with the deepest echoes of my soul. "Silas, please stay with me. You are the beacon that guided me from the depths of despair. You bestowed upon me a purpose to embrace life. Please don't remove it at this moment. Hold tight, for my grip remains strong. Even if the entire world forsakes you, my loyalty will remain unwavering. Let us embark on this journey side by side, united as one." He gazed at me, his eyes aflame with a crimson hue. In that moment, he wept like a young one, clinging to me with a fervor his body shaking with emotion. "I apologize. I apologize for my perceived weakness, yet I assure you I shall not release my grip once more. Together, we shall unveil the truth." The following day, Silas reached out to an old student, Mark Collins, who held the key to the truth. Mark moved forward without a moment's pause. "You rescued me. Now the time has come for me to assist you in restoring my reputation." For weeks, they delved into the archives, unearthing testimonies from those who had witnessed the event unfold. In the stillness, I lingered, each and every day, with each passing hour. It's akin to anticipating the glow that signifies hope beyond the shadows. And then the fateful day arrived. Mark presented Silas with a vintage recording. Within the tale, a member of the former research team confessed to fabricating the narrative to ensnare Silas. The evidence has come to light. One by one, the articles faded away. The digital gathering started to reflect and express their regrets. Silas found his redemption. On that day, he was perched quietly by the window, lost in thought. The golden rays of the afternoon sun danced across his face. His eyes shimmered with unshed tears, yet his smile radiated a profound sense of relief, brighter than it had ever been. I approached him and grasped his hand firmly. "Your achievements fill me with pride. We have weathered this tempest side by side. And now, the most exciting chapters are about to unfold, as the moment approaches for our little one to enter the world. Some wounds require patience to mend, yet there are wounds that yearn for a gentle touch, a tender word to begin their healing journey. On the day my child entered the world, the skies wept with heavy rain. Each raindrop descended with purpose upon the porch of the quaint cabin, tapping out a steady rhythm, echoing like a gentle reminder from nature itself. The time has arrived. In the final months of my pregnancy, I found myself swept away in a tempest of feelings. Joy, trepidation, dread, and so much more. From the very moment I felt it deep within me, I was destined to embrace the journey of motherhood. Yet I was aware. This form was unlike any other woman's form. Stagnation, devoid of sensation from the waist down, faced with the challenge of natural childbirth. In a world where the experience of labor pains is a shared tale, there exists a unique journey, one that diverges from the familiar path. Each evening I find myself nestled in Silas's embrace, sharing soft whispers. Fear grips my heart, a shadow lurking in the corners of my mind. Once upon a time, there was a character named Silas. I'm uncertain about my ability to succeed. I'm uncertain. May the arrival of the little one be met with joy and safety. He embraced me with a firm yet gentle grip, his weathered hand tenderly caressing my hair. "Vera, you have navigated through countless tempests. Your strength surpasses that of anyone I have ever encountered. Together, we shall brave this rain. I vow to keep my word. My presence, will always remain by your side. Yet despite Silas's unwavering presence beside me, a profound fear lingered within my heart. If an event were to unfold, would the child find an abundance of maternal love to embrace them? Could he summon the strength required to embrace fatherhood? As the moment drew near, the doctor made the crucial decision to carry out an emergency cesarean section. Your body may not be well suited for the rigors of natural labor. We shall craft the finest. Ah, but Vera, this remains a rather challenging tale to unravel. Your strength is essential now. I gave a subtle nod. My heart was a tempest swirling with chaos. On the eve of the surgery, slumber eluded me. As I sat gazing out the window, my hand softly caressed my belly, and I leaned in to share my whispers with him. Darling, I apologize that my form isn't flawless, yet I assure you, with every fiber of my being, my love for you will know no bounds. Embrace your strength, as if I stood tall for you. Silas lingered by my side throughout the night, weaving a quiet presence into the fabric of the evening. His words were few. With a gentle grip, he took my hand, and in that moment, understanding flowed between us. There were others with me. On that fateful morning, the rain fell once more. In the depths of my mind, a question lingers, elusive and mysterious, I don't know why. On that day, the rain danced gracefully from the sky, painting the world in shades of beauty. It felt as though the stage was set for an unfolding tale, a fresh chapter waiting to be written. As I was guided into the operating room, I grasped Silas's hand firmly, my voice quivering with emotion. My lord, please do not abandon me in solitude. Kindly. He bent low, his lips brushing softly against my forehead. I shall remain right here. Fear not, Vera, for you are not alone. Never again. The lights in the operating room flickered to life. The rhythmic thrum of the machine echoed in my ears, each beat resonating like a heartbeat, while the doctor's words floated through the air, sharp and clear. In the depths of anesthesia, I was enveloped in a profound silence, untouched by sensation. Yet every word the doctor spoke resonated with clarity in my ears. My heart raced with intensity. It felt like the anticipation of a new life about to begin. Suddenly, a piercing cry echoed through the atmosphere, the most enchanting melody of my existence. My little one, a new life has entered the world. My tears flowed endlessly. He didn't come into view immediately, yet the sound of Silas's weeping reached my ears, a haunting melody of sorrow. Our little one, a precious new life has arrived in this world. Vera, you possess such remarkable talent. Your essence is truly remarkable. As the nurse gently laid him upon my chest, a wave of emotion surged through me, leaving me breathless. A delicate being, with soft, crinkled skin and sleepy eyes, small hands grasping my fingers with a gentle grip. In that instant, clarity washed over me. Every ounce of suffering, every tempest endured held its value. Silas stood beside me, his tears cascading down his cheeks like a gentle rain. With a heavy heart, I gazed at him, then turned my eyes to my child, and softly murmured through my tears, "Gratitude flows from my heart. Thank you for providing me with a purpose to embrace life. Gratitude fills my heart for the opportunity to embrace the journey of motherhood, though I believed I was unworthy of it." He bent low and placed a gentle kiss on my cheek, then on my child's forehead. "No, my dear. You were the one who ignited my faith in the extraordinary. Your presence brings unparalleled beauty to my existence, and you are our wonder." On that day, with the rain softly falling and joy spilling from my eyes, I realized I possessed everything I ever wanted. I didn't require a flawless physique. The world's acceptance was never a necessity for me. All I sought was affection and the warmth of this small family. Time dances by in a curious manner. There are times when we feel as though the path ahead is too daunting to continue. Yet there comes a moment when we glance back and discover just how far we have journeyed. Today marks the milestone of my 80th year. In this quaint abode nestled within the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, the gentle wind weaves its tales through the rustling leaves of the trees. Each early morning, the fragrance of wild grass lingers in the air, a reminder of nature's gentle embrace. From time to time, I find myself lifting the lid of the weathered wooden box, revealing that cherished photograph within. A snapshot capturing a tender moment with my precious daughter in the hospital bed. Silas sat beside me, gripping my hand with a fierce intensity, his gaze reflecting the journey of a man who had weathered countless storms to safeguard the most cherished treasure in his existence. 5 years have slipped away since Silas took his final bow. A grave affliction wrenched him from my embrace. Yet I find no sorrow within, for I understand that he has always remained by my side. Each dawn as I settle by this window, the warmth of his embrace lingers in the air around me. The echoes of his voice linger in the air, softly urging, "You are strong, Vera. Continue your journey, as you have always done." Our daughter has blossomed into adulthood, a clever and resilient girl, her eyes shining with the clarity inherited from her father. Each time she takes my hand, she gently whispers, "Mom, because of you, I understand what true love really means." A smile graces my lips once more, as tears begin to gather in my eyes. No, I owe that to my father. Gratitude flows your way as well. You've discovered the art of living anew. I believed my tale had reached a serene conclusion. Yet just a few weeks past, a delightful little event unfolded. On a rainy afternoon, as I sat by the door, lost in my book, a soft knock echoed through the air. A young girl perched in her wheelchair, her gaze soft and reserved. Could it be Vera Hayes? I gestured with a nod, welcoming her inside. We gathered around the warm glow of the fireplace. Once upon a time, a girl shared with me a heart-wrenching tale of an accident that had changed her life forever, leaving her unable to walk. Her beloved left her behind. Her family, filled with a sorrow, urged her to abandon the notion of love and marriage. But then, I encountered your tale. Is it possible for someone like me to experience love and be cherished in return? I grasped her hand, gently gazing deeply into her glistening eyes filled with tears. Once upon a time, there was a young girl in a wheelchair grappling with her feelings about her own body. She believed she possessed no treasures to share with the world. Yet fate had other plans, for she crossed paths with another soul, someone who gazed upon her not with sorrow but with affection. And she was reborn, adored, embraced the role of a wife, embraced the journey of motherhood, though her body remained forever unhealed. The girl gasped for breath. Did fear grip your heart on that day? When did you make the choice to embrace the journey of parenthood when the entire world stood against it? A gentle smile graced my lips as tears cascaded down my cheeks. Indeed, my dear one. In the depths of her fear, she found solace in the warmth of her husband's hand, a nightly ritual that anchored her to the reality that she was not alone in the shadows of the night. Yet in that moment, when her child's first cry filled the air, she realized that every ounce of fear had been a small price to pay, and not a single thing in this world could ever lead her to second-guess that choice. I gazed at the young girl, my words flowing gently. There will be days like that for you as well. There are moments when the weight of the world's gaze feels unbearable. But my dear one, do not allow their gaze to dictate the way you choose to exist. Only your heart possesses that privilege. If your heart still holds love, let it embolden your spirit to believe once more. Every heart is worthy of affection. Regardless of whether you find yourself in a wheelchair or standing tall in the heart of a bustling square, your essence remains unchanged. One must always hold on to the right to love and embrace happiness. The young child wept openly, clinging to me with all her might. In that moment, I felt I was not just a mere narrator, but a bearer of the flame I had received from Silas's arms that day. As I pen these words, I realize that this tale has transcended my solitary experience. This tale speaks to those who have questioned their own value, for those who believed they had seen the end of their journey, for those who remain still in their wheelchairs, gazing out the window hesitant to venture beyond. To those who find themselves in the midst of this tale, if you feel as though you have nothing remaining to offer, hold on to this truth. Love does not depend on the strength of your legs. It does not demand an immaculate form. It takes a courageous heart to embrace what lies within. Once upon a time, there was a person named Vera Hayes. There was a time when I found myself stripped of all I held dear. Yet here I stand, with more than I ever imagined. For I have decided to embrace a love that, while not flawless, possesses a strength capable of transcending all boundaries. And what of you? Have you ever dared to dream of a love so profound? Share with me the tale of your journey. I'm ever eager to lend an ear. Thank you for joining me on this journey, a genuine tale of navigating through shadows to discover the light. If this tale has resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I would be delighted to listen to the tale you have to share. Remember to like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell so you won't miss the heartfelt tales and the journeys of resilience that I will keep unfolding. On the YouTube channel daily, I share authentic tales that celebrate love, the resilience of the human spirit, and the extraordinary moments that life offers. If you cherish heartfelt tales of triumph and resilience, this is the perfect little house for you. Come along as we share kindness, nurturing our belief in the everyday miracles that life has to offer. Until we meet again in the next tales, may you possess the strength and love to navigate all the paths that lie ahead of you.